So while we were talking, I had an idea for another project I can do that I need to start doing now. I can't wait till I retire. But
Okay.
you're talking about sitting your dad down and recording him. It's like I need to do that with my parents now.
Yeah.
I mean, just
That,
for regular everyday, they don't have to be as grand to the stories as Coming to America was for my grandfather. I mean, recently my mother told me a story of her favorite pizzeria when she was in junior high school, and it ended up that the punchline of the story is it was owned by my best friend's grandfather, who owned a pizzeria in my neighborhood, but it was a different one. Like he went to the pizzeria that was um, my best friend's grandparents owned, and then their son married my mom's next door neighbor's younger sister. It was still next neighbor, my mom's best friend's younger sister. Their kids became my best friend and my brother's best friend. They opened a pizzeria in our neighborhood, and I'm like, what are the odds that she randomly used to go to the pizzeria that became my best friend's family's, the pizzeria. I'm like,
yeah.
I would never, my whole life I didn't know that story until like 6 months ago. So I need to start recording stories theirs and do on their YouTube, just be collecting short interviews every Sunday
It's a good
after
idea.
church.
I mean, your kids are lucky because with the way your parents are going, your kids could be in their 40s when they when they lose their grandparents, so they'll have some memories. But it's
I
it's
mean, they're
still
my
a good thing to
youngest is
have.
20, so they have memories now. Like,
Yeah.
like, so they lost their grandfather on my wife's side. When Lee is too young to remember him at all. Jer Jacob remembers a bit. Joseph mostly remembers the day that he died. He was in India. We were coming back from buying bicycles from the Toys R Us for Hanukkah, and we got a call from India that he passed away. So Joseph remembers my wife crying in the car, like, and that is like his biggest memory of it. While
Yeah.
Jacob's a little older and has a few more memories, but Leah's got nothing. But they've got
Yeah.
their whole childhood, into adulthood with my parents.
Yeah. Yeah. I was almost 30 when my grandmother died, and so like she was one of my favorite people. And it sounds like you were at
One
least
of
an
her favorite people.
adult. Yeah, you were absolutely one of her favorite people.
Yeah, my mother's father died when I was like 7. The rest of my grandparents was, I was through college. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. As it is, I'm pushing 40 and I got a grandfather still alive. So,
yeah. The one thing is
but
my grandparents were old when my father was born. They were like late. My grandfather was at least 40. My grandmother was probably in her late 30s when my father was born, because my grandfather's first wife died, so my grandmother was his second wife. So
yeah,
they were older. So even though he lived a long time, he was old, when I have no memory of him under 70.
yeah, yeah, makes sense. Um, I was starting to think because you said that you were my grandmother's favorite. I forget what
Yeah.
others have.
So your grandmother's one of your favorite people,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
used to have
Uh,
a cardboard cutout of
it's
her.
weird that
People would
you're
say
one of her
why.
favorite people,
And your
and
father
my
hates me
father
so
hates you
much.
because it's my dad's mother that we're
It's
talking
probably
about.
why. It's
Yeah.
that jealousy he's always had, that, you treated him more like a son than you did me.
Hmm. Yeah.
Cultivated his talents.